Good morning. It's always an honor to speak at morning prayers. And I rise today to invite you to another special place and gathering on our Harvard campus. I refer to the Day of the Dead Ofrenda altar on the third floor of the Peabody Museum of Archaeology, and Ethnology on Divinity Avenue, which will be the site of celebrations and private messages to God and the ancestors starting this Friday. Mexico's vibrant indigenous and Christian festival tradition of honoring and uniting with our ancestors has come to Harvard and is represented here this morning thanks to the decorations prepared by Citalin Sanchez and the song in Nahuatl with her brother Eliel Sanchez Acevedo. When you visit the Dia de los Muertos altar at the Peabody Museum, you will be greeted by its bright orange and blue walls representing day and night, life and death. But you'll also see two jeweled feathered serpents descending the stairs, a precious tree of life next to a grinning ceramic calavera skull that is sprouting flowers from its head. There's a divine dog on the pyramid of Sin Sun San, and marigold flowers, magenta and green papel picado, and photos of the beloved deceased, humans and animals. They all await your presence. There is a long, large, bright red Jesus, and even a miniature ceramic band of skeleton musicians, showing that a carnival of life and death is permanently underway. Looking up at the top of this ofrenda, this structure, you will read the playful Mexican saying, El muerto al cajón, el vivo al fiestón. The dead go to the big casket, the living to the big festival. What is the significance of the fact that in the 20 years this Day of the Dead exhibition has been on our campus, its main festival night attracts more students and local citizens than any other museum event at Harvard University? They come to see the colorful altars overflowing with symbols, eat tamales and pan de muertos, and they listen to Harvard's Mariachi Veritas sing Mexican love songs. One student told me after a Day of the Dead evening at the museum, quote, as someone with absolutely no Hispanic background, the experience was immersive. The mariachi band, the Catrinas, the altar. For a few hours, I was no longer in Cambridge, Massachusetts, but transplanted deep into the heart of ethnic Mexico. To help us understand the meaning and power of the heart of Mexico, I quote my dear friend Toni Morrison, who said, "We die. That may be the meaning of life, but we do language. That may be the measure of our lives." The Dia de los Muertos that migrated here with Mexicans is a cultural language that measures and shares how Mexican families face loss, dying, death, and rebirth in courageous, sometimes humorous, revitalizing ways. Day of the Dead is a Mexican gift, and we hope the return gift will be a recognition of who Mexicans and Mexican Americans are and respect for what we contribute. Mexicans are the people of the volcanoes, the city and the milpas, the earthquakes and the floating gardens, the panaderias and the chapels, the dancing and the law courts, with fireworks and tenderness. Mexicans are not the criminals and dangers we are pummeled to think. Rather, they are the mothers of the sunsets, the mourners of the disappeared, and the incarnations of the butterflies. Mexicans are the fathers who built the bridges and fed the country, fought the invaders, and uncaged the butterflies. Mexicans are the abuelas who taught us the Bible, crossed the rivers, shared medicines, and taught us to respond to the end of life with life, and that God is love and justice for everyone, not just Latinos. We are the people of my favorite word in Spanish, convivencia. This altar and others on the campus say it's convivencia time, the time of living together in fiesta and lucha, by also opening a pathway for all the ancestors of all of us to say presente, Just being out there in the church this morning, you look up at the walls of all the ancestors of Harvard, all those who died in wars. Is your ancestor a Jones, a Martinage, a Templeton, a Mohammed, a Judith? Is Jesus your ancestor, or the Virgin of Guadalupe? Then join in affirming convivencia, that is living together, and say with the spirit of Frida Kahlo, Viva la vida, and más allá, repair the world. That is the meaning of these decorations and the song you will hear. There is a sacred magic to the museum's exhibition of the Day of the Dead altar, because over time, even though its doors are closed, it has secretly become a shrine. Think about it. An exhibition on the campus has become a shrine because people have secretly deposited inside its locked doors photos of deceased and beloved professors, staff members, animals, and friends. And thousands upon thousands of messages to deceased family members have been written by museum visitors, including school kids, when prompted by simple baskets with blank pieces of paper and pencils. Here are a few. Boo dog, you were my first dog, and I will never forget you. I hope you're having fun terrorizing all the cats up there in heaven. Or this message, Tupac and Biggie Smalls, rest in peace. Plus, papá, pensamos mucho en usted, su hijo que lo ama mucho. Then, Dear Johnny Cash, thanks for speaking out against injustice and helping my grandfather and I bond. Topped by, Mama, I don't know why you had to leave us so early. The girls miss you. I love you and miss you and hope God is taking care of you every day in heaven. These messages are in so many of the world's languages. I have them in my office. They're written in Czech and Chinese, Polish and Portuguese, Spanish and Spanglish, Albanian and Arabic, thousands of them. And looking at them one day and meditating on this, I realized that here at Harvard, in Appleton Chapel, and in the Peabody Museum, all the world's ancestors of all the ethnicities and religions are welcome to be here together at the Mexican Day of the Dead altar and here this morning. So come to visit us right down the street on Divinity Avenue. You come too. Convivencia. Thank you.
Hi everyone, we will now sing the Lord's Prayer in Nahuatl. Nahuatl is an indigenous language from Mexico spoken by approximately 1.7 million people. The largest concentration of Nahuatl speakers is found in the central part of the country, where our hometown, San Miguel Tzinacapan, is located. And although Nahuatl is not at immediate risk of disappearing, many speakers face discrimination for using our native language in daily life.
Totatsine inilhuicacti moyestica, moyectenegualo in motocatsin. Juan magion motatocatsin, magchihualo in talticpac. Motanekilsin yon chihualo inilhuicac. Intotashkal momostayectatech moneki. Mahashkan shitech momakili. Wan shitech mopopol wili. Intotahtakol. Yontikinta popolwia, Wanamoshitech momakawili, tiwetsiske. Il panitech teneye kolisti, wanshitech momakishtili, iniwakpan, inamokwali, mahyon mochiwa.